The slap lands with a crack that startles the entire diner, a sound that slices through the sizzle of the grill and the chatter of after-school crowds. A little black boy's head whips sideways, his cheek blooming red, and his backpack drops open as coins roll in every direction like tiny silver comets across the greasy tile. Before we begin this journey, subscribe, because what happens next could change how you treat people. The phones come out first, because phones always do. Teenagers at the corner booth lift them like blinking, judgmental eyes. A server freezes with a tray of milkshakes. Someone laughs without meaning to and then covers it with a cough. The neon sign in the window keeps humming, a steady halo over the words Eddie's Diner, as if nothing has changed, even though everything has. The boy bends to his knees. He gathers the coins one by one, slow, careful, as if they are glass. His hands tremble. His breathing is steady. That steady breath should have warned the tall senior with the varsity jacket that he has misunderstood the person in front of him. The senior bears a grin for the cameras. His knuckles are flushed. A championship ring glints under fluorescent light. He steps on a stray quarter and flicks it toward the door with his shoe. He wears the easy swagger of someone who believes he runs this town, because for 2 years, in the hallways of North Vista High and in places like this, he has. The boy stands. He wipes his cheek and looks at the tall senior without flinching. His eyes are dark and clear. They do not beam defiance, and they do not beam fear. They are the quiet eyes of someone who knows something no one else in the room is ready to hear. A phone vibrates on the table near the window. The boy slides it beneath a chair, screen down. A red dot blinks once, then stills. The camera catches everything. Eddie's Diner is a place where kids stop after practice, where the jukebox is digital but the booths are patched with tape, where the ketchup bottles are always sticky and the napkin dispensers always jam. It smells like fries and nostalgia. It is not built for moments like this, and yet moments like this keep finding it, because the world sets its little stage anywhere. The tall senior bumps the boy's shoulder, because the audience is watching. He wants to show the crew at the corner that nothing touches him. His name is Tyler Grant, a big name on the scoreboard and an even bigger name on other people's screens. He has learned the ugly math of attention. A shove gets more views than a smile. A slap turns into 1,000 reposts before the grease cools. The boy picks up his backpack. He shakes the crumbs from the corners and zips it shut. He speaks without raising his voice, and the room tilts toward him to hear the words that refuse to tremble. My father teaches me respect. He also teaches me about consequences. The words hang in the neon light like a warning no one understands. A couple at the counter glance over the rims of their iced coffees. A busboy pauses with a tub of dishes. Somewhere in the kitchen, the bell dings, a tiny metronome for a normal afternoon that is now anything but. Tyler laughs for the camera. He spreads his arms like a showman, for the benefit of the followers he worships and the teammates who orbit his confidence. He taps his ring against the chrome edge of the table, a little metallic music to go with the performance he has curated for 2 years. He does not see that the boy is not performing. The boy breathes again, a single measured inhale. He speaks 4 words that land heavier than the slap. Vincenzo Moretti is my father. The air leaves the diner. The server with a tray of milkshakes grips the edge so hard her knuckles blanch. One of the phones drops an inch before catching, a flinch that never reaches the wrist. The name is not whispered in this city so much as allowed to float on the edges of conversations, the way ships are noticed by their wakes. There are stories. The stories have softened over time, rounded by charity dinners and ribbon cuttings and quiet scholarships no one claims publicly. The old threads still exist. Once, long ago, a younger city used the word Mafia with tremors in the voice. Now the word businessman is used instead, with careful respect and a glance toward the side door. Tyler's grin dulls by 1 watt. Ego rallies faster than wisdom. He rolls his shoulders and mouths something about big talk. He nudges a dime with his shoe. The audience needs confidence. He has always given them confidence, even when it was borrowed from the loudness of his jacket and the weakness of anyone smaller. The boy removes the phone from under the chair and checks the screen. The red dot continues to glow, a small witness. He tucks the phone away and gathers the last coin hiding near the leg of a stool. He stands again with quiet posture that belongs to someone older. No one stops him when he leaves. The bell on the door chirps. The neon hum returns to the front of the stage. Tyler feels the echo of the slap in his palm. He shakes it out as if he can fling away the sense that something has shifted, not in the diner, but in him. The videos go up, because they always do. By nightfall, a clip of Tyler's hand and the boy's cheek reaches accounts Tyler will never meet. Comments multiply like raindrops on hot pavement. The first wave laughs. The next two argue. A third says the boy's name with careful typography. Malik Hart. Monday is not merciful. In the hallways of North Vista High, the laughter changes flavor. It carries something sharp. The assistant principal pretends not to hear. Teachers see and look away. A janitor with sore knees watches the current and moves his mop out of the way. Malik walks with his backpack close to his spine, not hunched, not afraid, just focused the way a measured person is focused when everyone else is louder than their own better self. Tyler keeps his swagger. He turns the volume up because he does not know how to turn it down. He thinks more noise is more power. He thinks a senior year is a crown you can tape to your head. In gym class, a stray elbow finds Malik's ribs. In the cafeteria, a tray jostles Malik's shirt. In the hallway, a shoe unties itself the moment Malik steps onto the landing. A small group of boys orbit Tyler's confidence and call it friendship. What Tyler does not know, not yet, is that every shove echoes. Every whisper leaves a timestamp. Every eye that looks away becomes a witness he cannot unmake. Malik understands this in a way a 10-year-old should not have to understand. Malik photographs everything. Malik writes everything down. Malik's mother, Nadine, teaches schoolchildren to spell the word courage by showing them how the letters stand up straight in a row. Malik's father teaches a different lesson at a table no one sees, a lesson about patience and direction and what to do with the power to change a room when you walk into it. On Friday, the sun finds the campus with the same careless warmth as always. Tyler finds Malik near the vending machines where the cameras blink slower. A circle forms that looks like nothing from the outside and feels like pressure from the inside. Shoes scuff. Backpacks lean. Someone hums a tune to slow their own racing pulse. Malik glances at the vending machine glass and watches Tyler's reflection instead of his face. He lifts his phone. One hand hides the camera. Thick laces squeak on tile. The circle tightens another click. Call your imaginary dad, Tyler mouths with a grin. Malik dials without hurry. The ring is short. The voice that answers carries a depth that turns the air cool. Hi, Dad. The few syllables hang in the stale hallway. The name does the rest. A hum begins, not in the building, but in the bones of the boys who wanted a show and got a mirror instead. No one expects a mirror to be just as loud as the stage. Give him the phone. Tyler takes the phone because bravado has momentum. The voice on the other end is measured. The voice does not threaten. The voice asks how a son of this city is using his strength. It speaks of family as if it is not a word, but a covenant. The voice speaks softly enough to make Tyler wish it had shouted, because a shout would be easier to dismiss. The phone returns to Malik's hand. The circle loosens. The vending machine hums. A fluorescent bulb buzzes with a tired stutter. Tyler swallows against a throat that wants water. He is not afraid of shadows in the parking lot. He is afraid of something he cannot name yet, the kind of fear that only arrives when the bottom of your pride shows and you do not like what you see. Saturday brings a tie and a quiet office in a building with mirrored windows that share the skyline with lawyers and accountants. A call is placed. A meeting is requested. A mother with 2 jobs hears the message before her son and sits down at the kitchen table without meaning to. Monday arrives. The principal calls Tyler to the office. Papers are laid out in neat order, dates and screenshots and videos that cannot be coaxed to lie. Malik has catalogued everything with a precision that would look cold if it were not so brave. A coach stares at his shoes. An assistant principal blinks too fast. Tyler reads something in his own messages that he does not want to own. The weight he feels is not from punishment. It is the weight of a mirror, and it is heavy. Suspension lands. A public apology is scheduled. The team captaincy pauses. The scholarship committee leaves a message with phrases like character and concern. Tyler nods at all the right moments, And then he leaves the office and leans against a cinder-block wall and feels the first honest ache of a life he has been living with borrowed strength. Across town, a sedan pulls into the lot behind Eddie's diner. A man steps out in a suit that costs less than people think and a stare that costs more. He is not escorted by a roomer. He does not need to be. He orders a coffee. He compliments the pie. He asks the owner about the community fund for the youth center and offers to cover the new computers. He does not mention Friday. He does not mention the neon humming over the front door. He signs a check the way a person signs a promise. At the community center 2 blocks south, a room is set up with folding chairs and a whiteboard. A photographer stands quietly near the back with a lens that sees without intruding. A sign on the door reads Youth Leadership Roundtable. The room fills with the kind of people who keep cities alive without recognition. A nurse still in scrubs. A janitor with sore knees. A security guard from the mall. A pastor with a tired smile. A volunteer from the library. A teacher whose heart hurts. A boy with a backpack and a bandage on his ribs. A senior in a varsity jacket who is used to entering rooms with applause and walks into this one with the echo of Friday still in his bones. The measured voice begins. It speaks about a city that remembers. It tells a short story from a decade earlier, a crash on a rain-slick road, a paramedic who pressed his hands into a stranger's wound and refused to quit until the pulse returned. It describes the sleeve patch on the uniform. It remembers the name on the tag. Daniel Grant. A photograph slides across the table. A young man in neon yellow smiles with a tired grin into the camera's flash. Next to him stands a man younger by 10 years with eyes that match the man at the head of the table now. The photo sits in front of Tyler's mother. She rests her fingers on the corner to steady it. Tyler looks from the picture to the man who introduces himself to the room and to no one in particular as a father, a neighbor, a complicated citizen who pays his taxes early and his debts eventually. The name that floats in the city settles in the room like a chair that was always there. The story finishes with a line no one expects. A debt exists. It is owed not in fear, but in lives lived right. The room is quiet without being cold. A second photograph appears, this one smaller, this one of a boy beside a Christmas tree holding a soccer ball, this one wearing a brighter smile than the room deserves. The name is Malik Hart. The man's gaze softens at the edges the way a father's gaze does when it rests on his son's photo in a place that is not home. Terms are written on the whiteboard, not like punishment, but like a curriculum. 200 hours of service at the community center. Restitution arranged with families who were hurt, not as hush money, but as therapy appointments, transportation support, tutoring stipends, meals delivered, locks repaired. A fund seeded with the sale of things Tyler treasures more than a healthy person should, limited edition sneakers, a tricked-out game system, a used car he is saving for graduation bragging rights. A public apology that says real words and makes real commitments. A promise to step down from the captaincy and earn trust before wearing any letter again. A personal meeting with each classmate he hurt to ask a single brave question. What can I fix? The list is longer than the pain. The list is heavy by design. The list costs something. Tyler signs his name to the bottom. His hand shakes and then steadies. He does not feel proud. He feels relieved to have something to carry that is not lies. Thumbnail-worthy moment number 1 is already part of the internet's bloodstream. That slap and those coins. Thumbnail-worthy moment number 2 happens 3 days later in the school auditorium when the student council hosts a special assembly on courage. Malik takes the stage wearing a polo shirt with a school crest and a bandage that is less red. He steps to the microphone with a laptop under his arm and a composure he did not order from any online store. The first slide fills the screen. It is not a face. It is a timeline. It charts 2 years of incidents, organized by date, by location, by type. No names appear in neon. No one is dragged by the throat. Patterns speak for themselves. A second slide shows messages that used to be jokes but read now like confessions. A third shows a heat map of places in the building where people feel unsafe. The lights stay on. No one is hiding in the dark. Malik's voice never shakes. He talks about dignity like it is a resource in the room, and his job today is to help people find it. A file plays that the diner cameras caught, the slap in cold pixels. Malik pauses it at the moment of impact and breathes into the microphone. He does not ask for sympathy. He asks the room to say out loud what they already know and then act as if they know it. He closes the laptop and looks at the audience the way he looked at Tyler in the diner. The applause rises and then steadies into the quiet kind of clapping that means people want to carry something home. In the third row, Tyler stands without prompting. He faces the people he has hurt and does something he has not done in public since childhood. He lets the room see him without armor. He speaks into the microphone words that cost him something. I hurt you. I was wrong. I am not asking you to forget. I am asking you to let me build what I broke, one job at a time. There are no dialogue tags. There is only a boy without a jacket holding a microphone like a handle on a heavy door he is willing to pull. The next weeks look nothing like Tyler's high school highlight reel and everything like a person learning to be human in front of other humans. He mops after the community center's Saturday basketball league and wipes Gatorade rings from the floor. He sorts canned goods at the food pantry and realizes a can of peaches can make a person cry. He kneels on the diner's sticky tile after closing and uses a toothbrush on grout, because the owner mutters about years of grease and Tyler insists on making it right with hands, not just a check. He sells the sneakers he used to treat like trophies and is surprised by how little it hurts once they are gone. He carries folding chairs in and out of rooms and learns the rhythm of service. Malik never gloats. Malik sits with younger kids at lunch and opens puzzle boxes and builds with them, piece by piece. Malik and Tyler move from awkward to useful. They do not become best friends overnight. They become something harder and better, two citizens with a shared project. Coach Roman, who once looked away and wished for clear consciences like other people wish for sunshine, asks for a meeting with the principal and resigns from a role he loved because he forgot what it was for. The assistant principal schedules training with a local non-profit. Posters appear in the hallway listing numbers to call and names to ask. A parent volunteer sets up a courage box, a place for the quiet to speak without raising their voices. A month later, the larger twist arrives like a gentle knock on a door you thought would stay closed forever. Tyler and his mother sit across from the man whose name the city says with careful respect. The room at the community center smells like coffee and copy paper. A framed photo on the shelf shows a ribbon cutting at the new teen tech lab, the one with the computers none of the kids could afford and all of the kids can use. The man opens a worn envelope with the care of someone lifting a memory. He slides out a letter written years earlier. The paper is creased and soft. The ink has pooled in places where a pen paused over a word for longer than grammar requires. The letter thanks a paramedic named Daniel Grant for a life saved on a rain-slick road. It promises to pay a debt not with favors but with fixed bridges and books and chances for kids with big eyes and small hands. It carries a signature some people whisper about and a sincerity no one argues with. The man places the letter where Tyler can see it. He places a second item beside it, a keychain with a fire department emblem and a scratched plastic cover, the type that sits on a set of keys for decades and then passes into a box when a wallet is emptied into a dresser after a funeral. Tyler's mother covers her mouth with her hand without meaning to. Her breath leaves the room and returns. A debt exists. It was never going to be collected with fear. It was always meant to be repaid with growth. Tyler understands something in his bones that his brain cannot describe. Mercy is not loophole. Mercy is a discipline. Mercy can be harder than punishment because it requires someone to change. He thinks of his father holding pressure on a wound in the rain and refusing to give up until a pulse returned. He realizes his own pulse has been shallow for years. Thumbnail-worthy moment number 3 unfolds outside Eddie's diner at sunset when Tyler wheels a handcart stacked with cardboard boxes onto the sidewalk. He pulls back the flaps to reveal a line of brand-new tablet devices, purchased with the scholarship fund created with his gear and matched 3 times over by donors who saw the assembly and decided to act. A hand-painted sign leans against the door. Proof, not punches. The camera captures the moment with the pink sky glowing on the chrome trim and the neon sign humming over a kid who once treated attention like air and now treats it like a tool. He hands the first tablet to an elementary schooler who beams as if someone handed them a window. The program spreads faster than rumors and lasts longer. Workshops teach students how to document harm safely, how to intervene with words and presence instead of fists, how to hold institutions to their mission statements without destroying them. A retired judge volunteers to explain the difference between justice and revenge. A local social worker runs sessions on trauma-informed care for teachers who have more heart than tools. The PTA stops being a monthly cookie table and becomes a machine for change. The quiet transformation touches places Tyler never expected. He returns the ring to the school trophy case and places a note beside it. Let this stand for the kind of strength no scoreboard measures. He reconnects with a childhood friend he left behind because the friend was not cool enough for the version of Tyler that was mostly performance. He asks Malik where the gaps still are. Malik does not hesitate. He points to the bus stop where middle schoolers wait each morning. He points to the back stairwell where a loose handrail has been loose for a year. He points to the lunch line where students with reduced-price meal tickets get a different color receipt and a different kind of stare. Tyler adds each one to a list and begins to tick them off. Screws are tightened. Procedures change. Receipts stop being color-coded and start being just paper. By the third month, the school looks like a place that knows itself. People still make mistakes. People always will. The difference is what happens next. Malik smiles easier. He still keeps the old phone with a glittering scratch on the corner as a reminder. He and Tyler start a mentorship circle for incoming freshmen who look like they might try on the costume Tyler used to wear. They teach them how to center respect before swagger. They hand them a tiny mirror and ask them to practice looking at their own faces without flinching. One late afternoon, the man whose name the city says with careful respect stands in the back of a gym where the mentorship circle meets. He watches his son lead a session on how to speak up when it is hard and how to forgive yourself when you fail. He smiles with a private gratitude. He does not speak. He turns to leave and stops when a mother touches his sleeve to whisper thank you. He shakes his head no, a gentle, almost embarrassed no, and points toward the kids. The thanks belong there. The moral arrives simple and clear, the way the best ones do. Do not judge by appearances. Verify before you vilify. Integrity is action when no one's watching. It should end there. The city should tie a bow around this arc and move on. Stories do not ask permission to complicate themselves. A week later, a video surfaces that looks like the slap in reverse. The edit is skillful. The audio is manipulated. It frames Malik as the instigator. It blurs the red blush on his cheek. It inserts a muffled insult from a mouth that never made the sound. The clip travels faster than the truth. A hashtag grows hungry and starts to eat names with no palate for context. A blogger with a large platform posts a thread suggesting the city is laundering reputations with philanthropy. Another writes the word Mafia in capital letters and drags the space between rumor and evidence with a net. An email arrives at the school board office with a subject line that uses the word lawsuit. The city attorney announces an inquiry into public-private partnerships and the influence of large donors on policy. A federal audit begins quietly and then not quietly at all. Cameras arrive where the ribbon used to be. Microphones crackle with questions that do not care about answers. Someone breaks into the cloud storage for the proof, not Punch's program, and deletes the original diner footage. Backups vanish with a pop and a wink. The day before the city council hearing, the principal receives a subpoena and pretends the envelope is not heavy enough to bend the desk. A friend of Tyler's slips a folded note into his locker with block letters written by a hand that shakes. The note is short. Pick a side or be buried by both. Tyler stares at the note and feels the old armor trying to climb back on his shoulders. He takes a breath and pushes it away. His phone buzzes with an unknown number. The text reads 3 words. Check your porch. He runs home, turns the corner, and stops short. A small package sits on the step wrapped in brown paper. The handwriting on top is careful and old-fashioned. Inside is a single flash drive and a note on stationery that smells like a drawer that has not been opened in a long time. The note reads only 4 words and a date that does not belong to this week.